Radio for Skaro.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 765. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
It's the middle of October. As I look out here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, on Treaty 6 territory, I see that the snow is ever so slightly starting to fall here in Edmonton. It's that time, everyone. It's that time. Good.
It's not here.
Good thing that there's lots of stuff to do indoors over the course of the next few months as we
had no choice in the matter.
Yeah, hunker down. On today's show, by the way, the episode 3, Orphan 55, which I will never not almost call Orphan Black, is our commentary with our friend Annette Wierstra, who went to her first Gallifrey 1 this past February of this calendar year, and of course got it canceled. She is personally responsible, and as are all first time attendees of Gallifrey 1 this current year. So that's coming in later on. I got a weird flashback. Earlier this week, desperate for some sort of a vacation, Erica and I rented a car and drove out to the mountains and then back again. Basically a day-long road trip, mostly spent inside the car, driving in the mountains in October. And what I got a flashback to is I was in the mountains with a friend in October of 2013, the first weekend of October. And it was then when the missing episode stuff was really kind of blowing up. And so I was like telling my friend to drive so that I could check my phone. And me and like Simon Harries were like bouncing back messages because he was like hearing from someone like, oh, they're going to announce it next week and everything. And of course it was the Enemy of the World and Web of Fear was finally coming out. And so when I was driving through the mountains and it was like slightly snowing and I could see snow on the ground and stuff, and I thought, oh, missing episode stuff. That was fun.
Wow, that was quite the tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a long road getting from there to here.
It was a long road. Oddly enough, we mentioned that song over the course of that road trip. Yeah. Because we were listening to the radio.
This song was also mentioned in the, was it the finale of Lower Decks? Or one of the later episodes of Lower Decks?
Was it really?
I don't remember.
Oh, good. Another.
I do remember in Lower Decks that a special ghost, Jonathan Frakes, does mention that whole setup of him watching the Enterprise finale.
On the holodeck, yeah.
Self-referential. This is why I don't watch Lower Decks.
Yes. Yeah. It's called comedy. Look into it.
Well, also called
Star Trek is too dark. Hey, this other thing is too funny.
It's also called The Big Bang Theory, Warren. I'm just saying references.
No, The Big Bang Theory just throws words at you.
Well,
this is actually written by Star Trek fans, not idiots.
All right.
Never mind.
Actually, I think best Big Bang Theory was a Star Trek fan. Anyway, if you have the ability, the means, I don't know, Warren, you've gone to like camping over like the weekend and stuff, like just sort of like to get out of the house. It was nice. It was nice to just step away from it all for a day.
What happened to your propensity for Google Earth vacations?
Google Earth. Well, it was my office job. I often went on Google Earth vacations when I worked in the office, and B, sometimes I walk around video game worlds and stuff. So
okay, because both of you guys are doing like in GTA 5, you'll walk around Los Santos.
I did for a while, yeah,
and look at LA landmarks.
I kind of, yeah.
I am playing Doom Eternal because it was cheap on the PS4, and let me tell you, things look a little better when you're faced with the entirety of Earth covered in demons.
Right.
Then you walk outside, you're like, oh, okay, it's not so bad.
Yeah, well,
until the Canucks start playing again, anyway, right?
Yeah, whatever that is, whenever that is, that's a great thing. Here's the thing, I want to mention it because we're going to segue back into Doctor Who because we don't know when anything's happening next. That's the apart from all the sickness and dying, sadly, of a global pandemic and everything to go along with that, you don't know when things will start that you are normally used to. There are some things, however, starting, and some things being delayed. Calgary Expo tweeted out that they are delaying their 2021 convention to the last weekend of July 30th to August 1st, I think it is.
It's about a 3-month delay or something?
Yeah, it's usually like the last weekend of April. But, arranging a massive convention is tough enough in and of itself. So even in the event of a vaccine, having it distributed, blah, 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 all that, it's easier just to sort of punt to the summer. Maybe we can hold it outside a little bit too, perhaps. I saw
Star Trek Vegas, which was going to be in December. Good luck. Has now punted it to next year as well. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. But I will say this: Hooray production, as we call it, because it's Doctor Who Blu-ray, the collection series, as the Doctor Who official Twitter account calls them. They are back in production. Matthew Sweet tweeted a photo of an empty interview set with a couple of chairs, a similar set that we've seen when he's been talking to Louise Jameson and Philip Hinchcliffe and I think Tom Baker too on that same sort of backdrop. So they're back in production officially, which makes me happy. And in the latest Doctor Who magazine, 557, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, which I might as well talk about now. There's a bunch of stuff in there. But most notable, for me anyway, is that at the very back page of it, it says on the next month's issue, or next issue, I guess, in 4 weeks' time, the return of Chris Chibnall's production notes, which indicates a return of production of Doctor Who, or at least an update therein. So
it could be pre-production notes for all you know, but yeah.
That's true.
That's a hopeful thought.
That is a hopeful thought. So things somehow are getting there. They're getting there, even though we're still in the midst of all this, The dregs, if you will, to reference in Orphan 55. So, also, if you missed all the tweet-alongs, the Doctor Who tweet-alongs organized by Emily Cook, well, all the special additional material written by authors, so very graciously given during the course of those tweet-alongs, they've all been compiled in a new book called Doctor Who Adventures in Lockdown. It comes out November 5th. It's 100% in aid of BBC Children in Need. So all the stories that were sort of like added on to the lockdown stuff. People like Chris Chibnall, Moffat, Davies, Neil Gaiman, Paul Cornell's in there, of course. Joey Wilkinson, Mark Gatiss, Pete McTighe. All of those kind artists have submitted their additional material to be included in this book for no charge, along with some great illustrators as well. So it's a nice little package. November 5th, as I said, it'll be out. All proceeds going to children in need. So links in the show notes. You can check that out for yourself.
And speaking of children in need, I'm going to throw this out there earlier than it is in the show notes.
Sure.
Limited edition Pudsey and Blush 10th and 13th
I was
Doctor
waiting for
Bears.
which one you were going to go with.
Yeah.
There's kind of like all the hoopla over the Build-A-Bear Doctor Who stuff. There's the Pudsey and the children.
Hold
in
on,
need.
there was hoopla about the Build-A-Bear. There was a controversy. I'm sure there was controversy.
Hoopla is an
Show's
excitement.
over. This bear
Excitement
angers me.
over it.
Hoopla, yeah.
And also dismay over people in Canada having to spend a fortune to order from the U.S. because they didn't have it in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, what a surprise.
Yeah.
But,
oddly enough, I even went to West Edmonton Mall last week and asked at the Build-A-Bear, do you have the Doctor Who Build-A-Bears?
Get out, sir.
More or less.
This is an Arby's.
More or less. There was literally a tape around, like, you cannot come in here unless we allow you in. What do you want? Doctor Who Build-A-Bear. It's on a line. Go.
Build-A-Bear. Go to hell. Yeah. That's our new slogan.
But one of my favorite things, I'm sure it stands for something, but the bears are made of 100% recycled PET.
Whoa. What?
It's all capitals PET, so I'm sure it means something else. I haven't looked at what it is, but
rethink that slogan immediately.
But I chuckled when I saw that they're made of 100% recycled PET.
What does PET stand for? That's terrible. You're going to terrify a child.
That's awful.
Do you remember your cat?
It's terrifying me.
Do you remember your cat? Well, guess what? We got you a Pudsey. So
he's back in bear form.
Don't ask questions. That's terrifying. It's got to be like plastic emergency template or something. I don't know what that means.
Is Build-A-Bear secretly a punishment for children? We're
no.
taking you to Build-A-Bear.
Polyethylene terephthalate.
Oh, that's
Apparently.
well. I can see why they call it PET. It's PET. It's all caps.
It's clear, strong, lightweight plastic.
Yeah.
Do it with like little dots or something. Like, for God's sake.
Like the New York Times does. Yeah. Can I raise up something here? It's just intriguing that, there's the Doctor Who comic range features the 10th and 13th Doctors, and the Build-A-Bears were 10th and 13th Doctors, and now the Children in Need Bears are 10th and 13th Doctors. It's this weird, like,
Well, obviously 13th because it's the current Doctor.
obviously, yeah, but like,
But the 10th, I mean, is it all because of Whittaker and Tennant having worked together in the past? Is it because Tennant is the most willing
Popularity, I
to
think.
do stuff? Because Capaldi has definitely taken a step back, and
Smith has taken a step back. Neither are doing like
Smith
Big
has taken a
Finish.
step back, but he's still done like those virtual Zoom call panel things.
Yeah.
That Capaldi definitely has not.
No. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Or is it a complete erasure of the Stephen Moffat era? We are angry.
Or is it just utter coincidence?
That could be it, yeah.
Yeah. That's a hell of a coincidence. That's like 3 different things featuring exclusively those 2 Doctors. It just feels kind of interesting. Maybe they just see the 10th Doctor as a bright and happy shining vision. It's not the oncoming storm. And,
Or is it just because the 10th Doctor is consistently voted the most popular?
Yeah,
So they
remains
think
popular.
that's going to be the best seller outside of the current one.
Could be, I guess.
Probably is the bestseller outside of the current one. It's probably based entirely on a spreadsheet that says, this is how we make money.
He's like the classic Tom Baker, essentially. Like, whenever you like, oh, here's Tom Baker and the current Doctor, whoever that current Doctor is. Like,
Well, the classic Tom Baker, 2 old people like us.
yeah. True. Anyway, the Pudsey limited edition you can pre-order now. Don't miss out and pre-order by the 30th of November. I assume that these are probably only for the UK, and they're
Probably.
yeah,
It also says they'll be delivered in spring 2021. So
with a vaccine, do it yourself vaccine kit.
But you have to buy both.
You have
or
to buy.
don't get it.
Yes, that's true. There's 2 vaccines. One, initial one, and then the follow up, and you have to get both bears in order to get both. So, hey, we don't make the rules, okay? Children in Need, and
We make up the rules, but we don't make the rules.
we do make them up, but so that's kind of cool. I love teddy bears, but I have too much stuff in this damn house, so it's not gonna happen.
And you're not even that big of a memorabilia collector outside of DVDs, anyway. So
Yeah, when it
Lord,
comes to
that
Doctor Who, yeah, I have to just because I had to listen. I got the Mos Eisley Cantina from Lego, which is an amazing set, and before I bought it, I had to like do some mental arithmetic of where I'm going to move stuff around. And thanks to as I kind of anticipated what happened, thanks to the aforementioned Blu-rays coming out for classic series Doctor Who, my massive huge shelf, which was previously all DVDs for Doctor Who, is gradually being dwindled down, and so now I had space to move like all my few TARDISes or TARDI from the top shelf down to a bottom shelf, and then I put my Lego airplane up there, which means I could make room for the Mos Eisley Cantina. But like if they come out with another like must-have set, like I'm waiting for the Ultimate Collector's Edition sail barge, which isn't it doesn't exist yet, but it might.
have they done a Superstar Destroyer or anything like that?
Yes, I have. But here's the thing: as we go deep into Lego talk, I have the Ultimate Collection Millennium Falcon, the original one, you might say, from 2010.
Because you got it for a song.
I got it for a song.
Yes.
And here's the thing: if I'm going to have that Falcon, I need to have whatever I have in relation to it to be of that scale, and I can't have a to scale to that Falcon Star Destroyer and feel good about myself. So I didn't get it.
Okay. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Is Marie Kondo angry with you or approving of you at this point? I can't really figure this out.
All of it
Also,
brings me
I would
joy.
criticize-
Pretty sure
All of it brings me
sparks
joy. All of it.
I would criticize, but I have looking at a wall of dollies.
Thank
so
you.
Who the hell am I to talk? Also, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you, one Jeff Fink, friend of the show, who made me a 3D printed miniscope. It is a thing of wonder.
It is wonderful.
I greatly enjoyed your Blue Screen of Death miniscope thing on.
Yeah, I
Bookshelf
I
Doctors.
apologize for the poor Chroma King. But poor Chroma King is kind of along. It kind of goes with it.
It is.
So,
it is. It's kind of nice.
70s Doctor Who.
It is very 70s. We're not to bring politics into this, but like when the president of the United States was like doing all these daily videos and stuff like that, and it all spread around like, oh, it looks like he's doing this on green screen or something, and he probably did this later. He's not even outside or something. Let's have a look at this. And I looked at it for like 2 seconds. Yep, green screen. And I'm thinking, I have seen enough of classic Doctor Who to know when I'm looking at blue screen right
Yep.
here. All right, and that
doesn't even have the decency to fringe it properly.
Yeah, that is color
Come on.
separation overlay, my friends. He is faking it. Don't try to pull a wool over this Doctor Who fan's eyes. Damn it.
And really, how tough would it be just to go out on the lawn and film the damn thing?
That's the thing. Like, how sick was he?
Get a lens, get some guy far away from him,
I know.
shoot it.
Well.
The end. It's not that tough. Anyway, who cares?
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully, in less than a month, this won't be anything we're talking about.
Yeah, this is the great thing is that we're recording all of our commentaries. Like, we'll be hopefully wrapped up before the end of this month, even though they'll be coming out until into December. And it's just funny because, we can't help but like insert what's happening on that day into the commentaries. So, yeah, look forward to dated references in all these commentaries.
As opposed to all the other dated references we throw out there.
That's true. I tell you what, as an aside, I'm speaking of recording things in advance and going into December. Surprise, surprise, we're going to do the Fluid Links Advent Calendar again this year. And we're going to start recording those somewhat soon, too. So send in your Fluid Links, maybe even Christmas related. Who knows? Because they're going to be the Advent Calendar. Again, they'll seem very popular. We like doing them. They're daily episodes. One Fluid Link per day, and it's a lot of fun. But we record them well in advance, and we can't do that in secret exactly because we need you to send us your topics and comments and questions and stuff. So send them in #Fluid Links because I think we're recording our first batch of them this week. So there we are.
However, we are not animating them.
No.
No telesnap recons.
No, they've been wiped. This is the John Wiles era of the Fluid Links Advent Calendar, and there will be no telesnaps this year because there are a lot to do. So there. So thanks for letting them down. Thanks for letting the public down there, Chris.
Wow, it's pulling off the Band-Aid, really.
I suppose. Speaking of pulling off the Band-Aid, is that a segue? I don't know. The Faceless Ones is finally coming out next week in North America after having aired this past week on BBC America. It's on iTunes. You can get the color version only with no extras on iTunes. Yeah.
Give me the option. Come on. I don't care about color versions, but give me the option.
I looked at the UK DVD release information, and it is both. Because I couldn't remember if it was both color and black and white.
Oh yeah,
and it is. And then of course all the
anger rescinded.
All the other extras as well, including like telesnap recons and some commentaries and this and that, which I assume we're getting on the North American one. Like it should be a clone.
It's a straight clone of it. Yeah. The only thing we don't get on the US for the North American versions is for audio navigation, select now. We never get that, and whenever British people talk about it, what is all this nonsense? We don't have it. We don't have that on our DVDs.
That's why it was Tachyon TV who made a shirt saying that.
It did, and I don't get this. I don't get this reference. Tachyon TV. I don't get the reference to Weak Lemon Drink either, but that's a question that I've been wanting to ask about for years. But it's on iTunes if you want to get it that way. It's for $15 here in Canada, so about half the price of the DVD as it all comes out in the wash. But the DVD has twice as much, so really, that's what you're paying for.
More than twice, really. Yeah,
more than twice. So I look forward to that. Both supposed to be arriving on Tuesday, and then eventually, as is often the case, not. I mentioned Doctor Who magazine, where they talk about the 50 scariest moments in this week's issue, and they rank them. Just want to point that out there. They rank the scariest moments according to whoever ranks them.
What's the scariest? An angel-related one, I assume.
It's not. It's not an angel-related one. No. Okay. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's... All
right.
Is it Sutek sitting on a human hand?
That is pretty scary.
I think Sutek is in the 50 somewhere, but it's not the top one. But no, I won't spoil it for you because you'll get down to it and you go like, "What? Come on!" Or you're thinking, "Yeah, that was pretty scary." So I'll leave it up to you folks to read about it. There's also a huge thing on Ray Holman's guide to the creatures and stuff that he designed and dressed for Series 12, including some original artwork and the sketches, the design sketches and stuff. So, yeah, cool. And a big thing about the Time Lord Daleks animated series with a big interview with Nicholas Briggs. What brings them Daleks to life via the voice magic. So,
voice magic.
Yep. All that and more in Doctor Who Magazine 557.
One thing because it slipped my mind a moment ago, one thing to throw out there for DVD, Blu-ray stuff, at least for the moment, dated reference, the Kino Lorber website is having a sale on a bunch of stuff. So the Peter Cushing, the new release of the Peter Cushing North American Blu-rays are $12.49 US right now.
Really?
Holy.
Oh, that's
holy
like
mother.
25% off what I paid for them. They're really good. The commentaries are great. I talked about the commentaries on this here podcast a couple weeks ago when I got the Blu-rays. They're really good. So get them from the original source if you can, which is Kino Lorber. They're the ones who did the remastering and then putting out and stuff. So that's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We closed the news with some Big Finish stuff. So here's an interesting thing. The War Doctor Begins is a new Big Finish audio, which will chart the beginnings of the time of the War Doctor, originally, of course, played by John Hurt, who sadly passed away in 2017. But an actor called Jonathan Carley who
apparently does a great job.
Does a great job. I haven't listened to the clips yet. But it's, replacing John Hurt is a hell of a thing.
I saw a lot of Twitter controversy about this, but I'm like, well, what else are they going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they could just not do it, which seems dumb because it's a very rich field to work from. I have no problem with recasting him. It's a character. You've recast the first Doctor. You've recast other Doctor. Why not?
That's just it. I was thinking about the comparison to like David Bradley, for example. The blow is cushioned, if you will, by him having done Adventure in Space and Time. So our acceptance
and being
of him
really good at it too.
As the first Doctor was easier. But yeah, even beyond that, like Richard Herndl, etc. There's been recasting before, and I'm sorry, it's gonna happen.
If anybody can be called, and I'm the biggest War Doctor fan there is, if anybody can be called iconic, it's John Hurt as the War Doctor. But what else are you going to do? The guy passed away. You might as well work with what you got. And if this guy does a great job imitating him, or not even imitating, but bring the spirit of it out, which is I think what they did with The Prisoner. Because how do you replace Patrick McGoohan? The answer is you don't. You just get a guy who kind of fills the spirit of the role, and you go with that. I mean, that's much as I dislike Hamilton hype, that's kind of what they did with that play. They found somebody who filled in that role. Right. Or not play. I know, nerds, musical, whatever. Anyway, the point is... Call it a play. They have an entirely new cast, and people seem to love it anyway, so it's the same thing, really.
And also, I mean, not that I'm saying I just feel like Leonard Nimoy was as iconic a artist to portray a character in Spock as there was, and yet, like, Star Trek says, so who's our new Spock then? Who do we get this time around? Like, they recast Spock willy-nilly.
And I am not a fan of those alternate universe Star Trek movies. The cast of all of them is great, and one of the best is Quinto. He is an excellent Spock.
He's good at it, yeah. But we're at a point now where the media that we enjoyed, and John Hurt played the War Doctor close to the end of his life in one story, and then some Big Finish stuff. This is actually young War Doctor. This is like freshly regenerated, like Claudius age. I was just going to say Claudius War Doctor. So it makes sense to have a younger actor portray it. We've seen it, like, Robert De Niro played young Marlon Brando in The Godfather Part 2, and we didn't,
By the way, I remember seeing in Scandal in the 80s, John Hurt play, and I just looked back at how old he was at the time. I'm like, my God, he's my age in that movie. He does not look my age, or maybe he does. He has lived much more life than I have, apparently, by that point.
Well past, I think you're close. You're past the Wilford Brimley cocoon level.
I believe I am. Yes, I'm going to be 50 in a month and a half. Yeah. Less when you're listening to this dated thing. Anyway, point is,
it's going out 2 days later. It's not that dated as such, but. Anyway, the War Doctor Begins will be coming out sometime June 2021. June 2021. Look at all we have to look forward to. Yeah, the 2021 is it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine with that.
Wilford Brimley was 51 when Cocoon came out.
51 when Cocoon. Okay. 51's nothing.
51, depending on the timing. Yeah, anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. Kids, 51 is nothing. It may seem old to you like it was old to us when we were 25, but...
I can hear our many listeners saying, okay, boomer, which isn't even accurate.
That's not nor is it a thing anymore.
But my millennial friends have done that to me, and I'm like, oh. So I called them Gen Z, and they got very angry with me.
Oh, Generation Wars. Also coming from Big Finish, the 5th and 6th Doctors, commonly known as C. Bake and P. Diddy, are out in a dual of stories called Colony of Fear and The Blazing Hour. That's in March 2021. That also comes with the shipment of the vaccine. And also, Lady Christina. Michelle Ryan returns to the role of Lady Christina in Series 2 of the Lady Christina series for Big Finish in June of 2021. Just think where we'll be as a society in June of 2021.
Eating each other for meat. That's what we'll be. The vegetarians will reign supreme.
Ah, see? I got into the ground floor.
Yeah, or they'll be the first to die out.
I tell you what, I have noticed that at least 2 of the vegetarian items that were trumpeted at various fast food restaurants over the past year have now been quietly scuttled. So I feel the world is once again turning against me, and I feel a little bit better about that because I felt a little too pandered to when I had too many options to choose from when it came to veggie sandwiches or something like that. So I think, okay.
But to Vancouverino, where there's many a veggie option.
There's lots of here too. I'm just talking the cheap and easy way, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like if I was to go to airports again, which of course isn't happening anytime soon.
That's a good one.
Yep. Speaking of the downfall of society, it's time for our commentary for Series 12 to continue. Doctor Who Series 12, the uplifting and very popular episode, loved by all, especially though by our guest Annette Wierstra. It's Orphan 55. After the break. Welcome back. It's time for our Series 12 commentaries. You've already heard 2 of these, dear listeners in the far future. But peek behind the curtain. This is the first one we're recording. Episode 3 last year was the last one we recorded. Episode 3 this year is the first one. It was far and away the most popular episode chosen by all of our commentators. It was not at all. But our guest, a first-time Radio Free Skaro commentator or anywhere guest, put this on her list because you knew that you were going to get this one anyway. You just wanted to come on and talk about
kindness.
It was kind of a kindness. I think Heather Berberet took a bullet last year. I can't remember which episode it was, but anyway, Annette, we are happy to have you. Annette Wierstra from Earp, Chirp on the Incomparable Network, and also now Agents of Smooch as well. Welcome.
Thank you. I am honored to take the hit for all Doctor Who listeners. I actually don't hate this episode.
I don't either. I think there are a couple laughable points and maybe some interesting points of the episode, which I'm sure we'll get to, but I liked it. I liked it enough. This is your favorite series of Doctor Who. I remember you proclaiming.
Yeah, I feel that it is my new favorite. I really like the first season with Matt Smith and the 11th Doctor, which I feel is close to this one, but this is newer. It's a little shinier. So I've been calling it my new favorite.
And it is worth that. I really liked it. I thought it was a notable improvement from last year. It really pushed the stakes out a lot, I think, as we'll get to when we talk about all the episodes, as we probably already talked about with Spyfall over the past couple of weeks. So, all right. So, everyone, I assume you have your NTSC Blu-ray copies. I stress that. Legally purchased,
I'm watching it on a cathode ray tube as we speak.
Good, because
and only the tube, not a TV.
I told these fine 3 people before recording that I wouldn't say this on the podcast. Otherwise, I'll say it on every podcast. But to hell with it, I'm going to say it on every podcast. The iTunes version has the incorrect aspect ratio. It's cropped, so the Blu-ray is the best place to watch this series of Doctor Who. So we will not accept any commentaries where you are watching on iTunes. I am sorry. Order links are in the show notes. All right. Orphan 55 from Doctor Who Series 12. Here we go. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, then press play. Here it is. Orphan 55 in 3, 2, 1, play.
One of them, their rare cold opens.
One of those fine Vancouver born and bred titles.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm meeting a guy in Vancouver. Made them.
Ben Pickles.
Yes, indeed.
Who we knew as we knew the identity of said person for years before he was just John Smith on YouTube.
He's in one of my fan films. He gets shot by a Dalek by much crappier effects than he can create. And they were bad. Ooh, they were bad.
Orphan 55. Ed Heim. Ed Heim did he did Takes You Away last time. Yeah, that's what he did.
This is something you'd often see, mopping up the TARDIS.
And we start with mopping.
Yeah, good old mop.
Someone's got to mop it.
I do love the ends of Hidden Adventures that we haven't seen.
And so does Big Finish. They're just sitting there with a notebook. Yes, go on. Tentacles, mops, gotcha.
Yeah.
Moptopus, we got it, done. It's half written.
Moptopus.
Yep.
That's a good one.
I also just want a free holiday to someplace called Tranquility.
I think we all...
That's maybe a mistake.
No, you know what? I take it right now, like in the quarantine and pandemic and stuff. Like, I'm a little tired of the local environment. I will take a trip to far-flung future Earth with dregs and old women yelling her husband's name.
But would you go with Graham and his Speedos?
Yes.
I would.
Listen,
I would
Graham
also go to
has coming up
Spain.
here.
Yeah, I would go
Graham
to
has one of the
Spain.
best.
He does have a great line.
Yeah.
That's not just a great line. It's the ultimate summation of what it is to be middle-aged. When I say this as a middle-aged person, I'm like, yes, he gets it. That is exactly what you want.
So the hair in this episode is interesting because there's this hair and then like the two... Don't they have, there's two guys that have like green hair and stuff.
Well, and are those tails or buns? I mean, ears or buns? Well, they're ears, right?
Yeah, ears.
She has
looks
a tail.
like John Candy's
Fuzzy
creature
ears.
from
kind of it does.
Spaceballs.
There's a line.
Barf.
Here we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Barf.
He's
Yes, that's perfect. That's exactly how I feel.
That's
on the
that's
weekend.
all
I'm
the
like,
holiday that we need.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
Sit there, drink, fall asleep. We're good.
I've never really been on that kind of a holiday, which I kind of feel is wrong. I should do that more often, or at all. Oh, maybe when we can go on holidays again in 2023.
Someday.
Yeah.
Well, you can do what I'm doing next week, which is several weeks behind now.
Yeah.
Which is camping, which is like quarantining, but in the woods.
That's true. Hey, it's Laura Fraser. I knew Laura Fraser from Neverwhere back in 1996, which was one of her first roles, I think, which co-starred Peter Capaldi. But she was also in Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. And many, many other things.
Who was she in Breaking Bad?
She was
the logistics person who ended up...
Oh, the German lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, gotcha, yeah. Or from a German company, anyway. Mm-hmm. Who's very high-strung, and I think he spoilers with a sort of powder. Yes, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Aww. Breaking Bad's been
I
canceled
really
for
like
5 years.
Benny and Vilma.
You do?
I like them. Aw.
Good old Vilma.
Are we pretending that people haven't seen this yet? And
God, no. Hell no.
Okay, good.
No.
It's like, it makes me really sad with the ring.
That is true.
I dig the hair on the guy in the prisoner jacket at the bar.
Oh, I missed it.
I missed that.
This is one of my favorite bits.
The bat thing?
Yeah.
Don't pick at it. I always want to pick at it.
I know. I don't think we appreciated Tosin Cole's gift for comedy until this moment.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing they haven't done now is that they haven't done any Dr. Light stuff, and so you don't get a chance for that anymore.
That's true. It's a waste. You could do.
Which is weird because you got 3 companions, so why not have Dr. Light?
I remember
This is good.
That's such great direction because we don't focus on it. We just see him floating
he's just
around.
in
In the background.
Yeah.
The future when you can have 6 monitors at once.
Oh, I love those. I want multiple monitors.
I would sit
remember
at this
seeing-
pool.
Yeah.
Remember the movie Swordfish?
If
It's
it was
bad 90s.
Hugh Jackman, John Travolta. Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
what it's
it's
famous
bad.
for at the
Oh,
time.
yeah,
but
yeah.
But I just remember they walk in and he's got this big, Hugh Jackman being a hacker, has this big like 6 or 9 monitor setup and he's like, wow. And I remember my friend goes, it's a screensaver, big deal. Yeah, that's fair. Remember screensavers? I don't. Where's my flying toaster?
I miss screensavers. Like I have
Love
one on
some
this
softballs at you, Chris.
computer.
Some
Yeah.
serious Mac softballs.
Yep. Well, I mean, After Dark was cross-platform.
Also sucking your thumb.
Yeah. She reminds me of someone I can't remember who.
A young Vanessa Williams taught us how to laugh.
Oh. Oh, I never noticed the spikes in her hair tie. That's kind of cool, actually.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I think more people should wear that. It's very like sort of stealth cosplay punk rock kind of thing, you know? It's neat to give Ryan
Ryan does not have great game in this moment.
No, he has very poor game indeed.
This is not his
It's like you're adorable, but you don't have great game right now.
yeah.
Well, how can anybody have great game while sucking their thumb?
Yeah,
Really?
but it
It's
works.
true.
Like you got a name.
But then he
Unless
gives
you
that
have some sort
smile.
of webcam business, then,
Yeah.
then maybe. But other than that.
Or you're being paid to like act like a baby. Yeah.
Okay, let's.
Which I mean, falls down to the same thing, really.
That's true. It's all acting is really.
I guess so. I didn't mean it that way, but you're right.
Hyphen with a 3. I didn't understand what that meant until I watched the captioned version of this, and I assumed that her name was hyphen with a 3, like that was her full name. But it wasn't.
Like -3.
It's hyphen with hyphen a hyphen 3.
Oh.
Period.
It reminds me of was it Blossom or Punky Brewster, where she had a friend called Six, which I always
Blossom.
thought was a weird
That's
name.
right.
Oh,
I mean, that's not a proper name. Come on.
Oh, I was infatuated with that name. I never watched the show, but I thought there's a character named Six on this. This is really cool. And it wasn't an homage to The Prisoner, from what I understand.
Well,
It should have been though. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
in the last season or second, whatever, late in the run for Married with Children, there was a character called Seven
Really?
because he was the 7th child of the family.
Oh, the 7th son of a 7th son.
I like that you have your
yours?
Married with Children lore down, Chris, because I can't make that claim.
No.
I will carry that torch.
Excuse me, it is not Married with Children canon. It is not accurate at all.
There's also that, what is it? There's a fairy tale show where all the princes are named after numbers. Primus,
Once upon a time.
Secundus.
Oh, fairy tale show. And I was gonna.
And
I was gonna say
one daughter is called Una.
Muppets Now. I don't know.
It is a Neil Gaiman book, I
Oh,
think,
okay.
turned into, what is it called? I can't remember.
I don't know either.
I'm really good
Something
at
with
this game.
forced whimsy and weird names. Neil Gaiman, you say? I can't believe it.
Stardust. That's
Stardust.
what it is.
I've heard of
Stardust.
that. I've heard. They're making that into a thing, aren't they? Or is it? I can't remember. I've
That was
lost.
It's a movie with Claire
a few years
Danes.
ago. Yeah.
Okay, I thought they're making it into a series, or maybe.
Oh, I like
Look out,
the
it's
movie.
Morrissey.
Oh,
It's Morrissey in David Burr's
it
suit.
sounds familiar to
Is
me.
he? Is it Morrissey talking about like? Is he cosplaying a seal?
Yes, as a seal, basically as a
As
protest for PETA.
also as Seal, the singer.
I know that. Yeah, it's both actually. He sings like the song.
that a kiss of a
Crazy.
rose?
There we go. I actually quite like.
Oh,
Seal.
that's why we have the Hopper. It's totally to trap them there.
Yeah. Not the Space Hopper or Dennis Hopper. Neither feature in these.
No, loved hippie maniac.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper is not in this since he's been dead for several years.
You mean King Koopa himself?
Yes, King Koopa himself.
Don't get that reference. Is that his character in Apocalypse
That's
Now?
from Super Mario Brothers, one of the worst movies of all time.
Featuring was Raul Julia in that
John
one?
Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins.
Oh,
Hoskins
right, Bob
as
Hoskins.
Luigi and the eponymous Mario.
Oh my God, there's so many great actors in so many bad films. It's just ridiculous. Here we go. These are
Directed by the
theirs.
people who made Max Headroom, which is a fantastic TV show. So they really screwed that one up.
This is
So this
Speaking
guy,
of
this guy,
fantastic TV
More
shows,
wigs.
in betweeners.
more wigs, green
yeah,
wigs.
this I was gonna say this guy is somebody to Brits, but not so much to me.
No, he's one of the in-betweeners. Is very famous for the in-betweeners.
He's the one who kept. He was the he really sweared well, as I recall.
He was quite vulgar on that show, and now he's 38.
The kid looks familiar.
Do kids look? Do they look?
But maybe he just looks like a kid and they all look the same.
I think. See, that's
Wow.
when Erica and I.
I'll thank you to stop right now.
Yeah, when Erica and I watch like Midsummer Murders, sometimes we think, "Oh, that person's been on Doctor Who." Thinking, are they familiar or are they just British? And they might just be British.
Well, there's like 10 actors in England, from what we can tell. So
Sometimes, yeah, and they're all in the bill and Casualty.
But they've all, if you go between Midsummer Murders and Doctor Who, you pretty much cover everyone.
It's difficult to go through a Midsummer Murders without going outside of the main cast, because Barry Jackson is one of the main cast for at least the first 9 seasons, so he's always there. But after that, they're always one. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to say which season it is, but we got to the one where Peter Capaldi's in it, and it's he's amazing in it.
And how's his hair?
It's shorter. It's just after like the first 2 seasons of The Thick of It, so like 2006 is when he was there.
By the way, Stephen, I think your review of the Suicide Squad film is the best. There's some Peter Capaldi and some other stuff that is not Peter Capaldi.
Yeah,
The
like
end.
there's 87 cast members in that launch video that came out a month or 2 ago as you're listening to this, dear listener. But like how you could have crammed all these people into a movie and not have enough time for Peter Capaldi, and that's just, you can't. There's not enough time for Peter Capaldi.
James Gunn puts funny, mean-spirited stuff together, but I just don't care. That's the problem.
I didn't know who any of those characters
I didn't know
were.
who the Guardians of the Galaxy were either, and they pulled that one off. So maybe.
Well, yeah, but there's only like 5 of them. There's 87 people in that launch trailer, and I think they're just making these up as they go along. They're basically this is a live improv of a movie launch trailer.
Well, there's even a joke in Lego Batman where they just list off the most ridiculous Batman villains, and they're all real. Or real in quotes. In fact, Zach and
They're all
Alpha
canonical.
Joker goes, "Look them up, people."
Oh
including
no!
Condiment Man.
Betty's the hat.
Bernie.
Oh, no, that's it.
Bernie in your old man sneakers.
Yeah, those were definitely old man sneakers. They got the costume bag on for that.
Totally, with that little leisure suit.
Yeah.
Like, I aspire to be that old person
Old man sneakers are comfortable as hell. Come
on
on.
vacation,
Yeah,
sitting in my chair
Crocs.
having cocktails.
I've always wanted a linen suit, and one day I will. Betty. Oh, this
It's never too late.
When we are allowed to go on vacation, we should go on vacation somewhere where you can wear a linen suit, but it should
was
be
in
powder blue.
No,
I was in Savannah, Georgia, and Jordan. Where the hell is that? Savannah, Georgia, and I saw like for maybe $100 a Southern gentleman suit, and I came this close to buying it, but I didn't do it, and I regret it to this day. It was a very
I regret
striking
it
number.
for you because I wish I could
too.
see you in this suit.
I mean, there are some problems with Southern gentlemen. Let's just put that out there right now.
Bet quite a few.
But it was a hell of a suit.
This is proper creepy though.
It is.
Like, I like not seeing the whole monster.
How? Okay, so how much? 1986, James Cameron comes along, does Aliens. How much praise does that movie get for things like drooling from the teeth and whatnot?
Well, they did that
And
in
we-
Alien as well.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Yeah, so we get that here. Like it's still so damned effective.
It's definitely like alien influenced here.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. That's a total ripoff.
Yeah.
But it works, so what the hell? Why not? Why does a hotel have a casualty indicator? That
is a good question.
It's a well equipped hotel.
Yeah, this
It's
is
like
not
one of
your
the
first,
primary questions you ask your travel agent.
Yeah.
What is the casualty rating?
Yeah.
Could you imagine, Warren, if the LAX Marriott had such a thing for galley?
Would that be like just drunkenness, or what would it be?
No, for actual casual, a
And I'm afraid to
concred
ask.
indicator.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
Remember Gallifrey 1?
I'm still agog that we went down to LA in February and somehow the good old
Did not get
Corona
sick.
didn't get at us.
That was your first.
that was lucky.
How was your Gallifrey 1 experience, Annette? Your first one?
It was very good. I met lots of new people and got to see how funny Tolson Cole is in real life, which was very funny. Also, Pearl Mackie was there. So the two of them together on stage was delightful.
I don't think did I see that one? I don't know if I saw
I
that
think
one.
they did a
It was this or
game
that
show.
It was this or that with Kim and Sage.
Yes. And they were like bang on and really funny with it.
Yeah, that's right. I do recall that. Okay, I was there for that. It's a blur, as you can imagine.
I can imagine.
A vacation. Little did they know that Doctor Who is predicting all of 2020 when they mentioned vacation, because
Yes.
this basically is our life right here.
But you know what? At least this is pretty contained. So if they like contained it and kept coronavirus out,
Yeah.
maybe, and you know, also maybe got rid of a few monsters. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could make this work.
Well, they're coming. That's 2021.
That's true. The dregs are what coronavirus becomes basically in the future.
That's probably
Yeah,
true.
because every year has sucked more than the last. And we're like, oh my God, 2019 enough. So in 2021, it's where do we go with monsters? That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
it's actually, we're going
or
to
a
have a
nuclear
literal alien
apocalypse.
invasion.
Yeah.
And they
No,
will be
they're
the
not going
dregs.
to. Why would they invade? They're just going to take one look at us and go, no. we'll pass.
Yeah.
What is here to take?
Yeah, true. You're done.
He's got Benny. Like
He has a ring for me in my pocket, in his pocket.
this just feels like such a weird performance. And by weird, I mean
We waited 46 years to get married.
it's slightly endearing, this performance of hers. But
But also odd.
odd is another word for it. It's very
Over the top?
she's a experienced she's been acting since like the 1960s.
Well, here's the thing. If you're that old, you can phone it in if you feel like it.
I don't know if it's been phoned in. I think she's completely going over the top, and I don't is that her choice? Is that Lee Haven Jones who directed this? I mean, at some point the director has to sort of go, okay, so what's going on here? You're going to be yelling Benny all the time? Is this how it's going to go? Which she does because it's in the script, I guess. It's after the 17th or 18th Benny, it gets laughable, and then she dies.
Here's a bit of completely irrelevant behind the scenes stuff. A friend of mine worked with Rodney Dangerfield, like very close to before he died. And apparently, like on set, he could only be on there like for a couple hours, and he was kind of out of it most of the time. But then when they said action, he just nailed his lines and then went right back to sitting on the chair. so actors, they just got a thing about them. They could just do this stuff.
Like Graham on vacation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's
Like he was not well, but he's just like, well, I'm doing this. The end.
Yeah. So everyone look at that CG truck there that's going on, because it only exists in the CG world, as will become painfully apparent during a scene coming up.
As opposed to the rest of the landscape, which is practical.
Yeah.
Think of how many classic Who we saw where we had some paper mache dome that looked like that, but not anywhere near as good, with a bunch of
the
obviously
dome.
not to scale dust and some sound
I'm not.
effects.
Oh God, no! I think that effect shot is amazing. But the fact that there is no truck, there's no practical truck. We're in a set here, and then later when they have to leave the truck and run away, you will notice that there is no truck, because there is no set of the truck, and they have to sort of shoot around the fact that there is no truck. And I don't know if that was like a budgetary decision at the beginning, saying, guess what, we don't have enough money to shoot a truck, or we don't need to because we can shoot around it, or something happened to the truck, as this is a terrible set, we can't use this, so let's edit around it. There's many different questions as to why these scenes, not these scenes, but the scenes coming up look a little dodgy.
So basically they had the money to either have a truck or an old lady screaming Benny, and that's the choice they made.
See, I feel like I'm your ideal audience because I didn't notice. I'm like, I'll notice now that you pointed it out.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
like, oh.
Also, I'd like to point out in its own weird 2020 way, this is just like how classic Who looked like crap, and then Hollywood movies started to look amazing.
Yeah.
And now we've got this, which looks kind of okay, but then if you watch the Avengers Endgame, when they're walking around in those like time suits, those are all CG. The clothes they're wearing are CG, and you don't even notice. That's how far ahead of the game they are.
Yeah.
So here we're like, well, this thing is slightly off. So we've gone that much higher up, even the low end, which is technically what this is.
Oh, I
There's
know.
still nothing to cry about.
Time and money are the only differences between movies and
Now,
TV.
I don't understand why the Avengers just can't put people in outfits. Would you think that'd be cheaper? But
That's the
presumably
thing.
it
Yeah.
isn't.
Yeah.
Like, why go to all that extra work otherwise? So there's probably a reason for that.
Like, I'm looking.
I-
Go ahead, Annette.
Can I ask like a logical question? So if we weren't
No, we're
ever
not
going to
gonna do
really like,
Stonehenge.
if we're going to actually never rescue Benny, why are we out there taking everyone to rescue Benny in a futile mission?
That's
This
true.
is the thing that is like a little illogical about this episode. Why are we leaving?
Why does everyone leave?
Like, why didn't one person go get Benny? Maybe.
Yeah, because I'm assuming the kid probably won't have as much to do with the getting of Benny.
Like, but you're just taking everyone out in danger. It seems
Yeah.
more dangerous.
It kind of does. I feel like, well, maybe the spa was like overrun with dregs, which it was getting to be, and so they felt that perhaps this is the safest place on the planet.
Well, it is
now.
never split the party.
Is there anyone left? Have they all been killed back at the spa? I think they have, right?
It was rapidly rising in their casualty.
Yeah, thanks to the handy dandy casualty meter that they had there. But it gives Jodie some good scenes to yell at people and stuff.
That's a good question, Doctor. Why are we driving in there?
That's a CG truck. That's on a CG. That's real. Scary looking monsters. Yeesh.
They're pretty good monsters.
They are very good monsters. I say yeesh as in like they're good. Like not like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be
Benny!
scared if I ran in there. Benny!
Forgot that it says Benny on it. Should have an exclamation point on it, actually. 'Cause that's the only way I know of his name. Is to be shouted. Remember breathe right strips? They were the big rage like 20 years ago, and
Yes.
NHLers were using, athletes were using them basically during play for a couple seasons because they thought they could breathe better.
It's a really cheap prop. It's economical.
It is. It's like, get us some nose breathers that just like pop them on.
Just plop some breathe rights on and we'll paint them blue.
The Jodie era seems to love having stuff like this, like things in the back of your neck and things on your nose. It seems like a Chibnall's obsession.
I think it's a sci-fi.
It is
obsession.
basically the severe featured dominatrix lady of the Moffat era is the weird crap on your face of the Chibnall era.
That's true.
And the deadlock seal or everybody's got this technology of the RTD era.
Yeah.
Actually, RTD's coming out ahead with that one when you get right down to it.
That's true. Although, like Spyfall had the vor, this search engine that you've everyone obviously knows about, but you've just heard for the first time.
And also a deadlock seal on the bomb.
Yeah,
The deadlock seal never leaves, and I hate that term. I don't know why, I just do.
Yeah.
But it just the letters together annoy me. I couldn't tell you what the reason is for that. But I'll take a vor or whatever other nonsense you come up with over the non-Sam Raimi, non-Marvel Spider-Man movies where Microsoft paid a lot of money to have Bing in there. So everybody's got like this Windows phone and they're using Bing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the most unrealistic thing about this Spider movie. Like, come on.
So I'm assuming that there's no, like, maybe there's a side of, no, that's definitely a truck.
See, you're wrong. Just completely wrong.
Okay, here's my hypothesis at this point. So maybe they shot that.
They had
right
a truck?
there. They had reshoots. I think reshoots had to happen, and they couldn't get the
Yeah.
truck. That's
Sure.
well, I'm just trying to say, why don't you shoot the truck when everyone's trying to get back to the truck? That's
I like how
I'm-
doubtful, how knowingly doubtful you are, Chris, without having any clue. Whatsoever.
It also doesn't
You
make
with the
sense.
inside
Like,
dope, Chris.
yeah. See, now they're
I
all
think-
out there.
I
but
think
why
I
do
can
they go
afford-
back to the truck? Like,
That's
it's that makes no sense to
Yeah.
me.
Wait, what were you gonna say, Chris? I think
I was going to say, I think I can afford to play the safety, the margin of safety on that one.
No, probably.
shut up, woman. Good God.
Why are they upside down triangles? Or just pointed down triangles?
They're Star Destroyers, obviously.
They have special
Oh,
icons
come
on the
on.
map.
Yeah. Ooh.
What are those hip
See,
ones
that-
for?
that
Shredding
is-
people
that
when
was-
you dance? Like,
Totally a composited CG shot. Totally.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go back to the truck.
They went back to the truck. They're going back to the truck. But where's the truck? See, all of a sudden in the truck. I mean, not that you need to be, this isn't Empire Strikes Back special edition. You don't.
Yeah,
need to
that's
see them
also
enter
good
the
editing.
truck,
If
but-
you don't notice, then they've done their job.
I didn't
Yeah.
notice.
No, that's fine. But
You're just gonna die on that hill, aren't you, Steve?
I'm going to die in this truck.
You're gonna die in the truck on the hill.
Yeah.
We all have our hills to die on.
Uh-huh.
Not me.
And mine is in this
ridiculous.
truck on that hill. A literal hill.
Yeah. Coincidentally called Truck Hill.
It is not. Is there a truck hill?
Sure.
I think that's...
What's a really unimaginative area?
Nebraska. I don't know.
There you go.
Oh.
Truck Hill is probably Nebraska.
That's the third largest town in Nebraska is Truck Hill.
Sorry, Nebraskans. Nebraskonians, whatever the hell you're called.
Nebraska Knights.
Nebraska Neonianites, I believe. Sorry, Nebraska. I just
Nebraska Renos.
there was a Doctor Who convention in Nebraska, I think, at some point.
And there's Wichita,
Well, then
Kansas.
it's legitimate state now.
Yeah.
I think Kansas rather than Nebraska? Because Wichita had one.
No, Omaha had one. Omaha's one of the fine
Oh, yeah.
cities of the American Midwest. Yeah.
Oh, Penny.
Penny, oh Penny, what's it done to you? Penny!
You just need to play the Benny Hill music now.
Yakety sack.
We shouldn't have left the dome.
She
Is
said
a good thing.
She had the smartest thing. The cat lady said the smartest thing.
Hindsight is 2020. Come on.
Oh, nothing is 2020, please.
So now we're like running again
Yeah.
to
Oh,
make
look,
the same
Steven,
place
there's a
that
bit
we
of a
did
truck.
before.
Where's the truck?
Truck in that shot too.
Oh.
That looks like a fake
That's
truck.
Oh,
CG, yeah.
For the
cat
long
lady's gone.
Yeah.
shot. She's been hyphenated.
Don't look. Run.
Why did people respond relatively negatively to this one compared to the rest of the
I
episodes
think
in this
the
season?
very preachy ending. That might be part of it.
I got very angry about that.
I know you did. You got very
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
I think also the logic of why they left
The truck.
the dome was
dome.
just like it made no sense. But
Yeah.
it's like, well, stuff has to happen
Yeah. I remember some people getting mad over the
because
fires. that
ultimately,
were-
because they don't actually rescue Benny, it was sort of a pointless trip.
That's
but
true. Yeah.
Then
but they're
they
gonna
also
find the
lose,
Marble Arch sign down here.
Well, I
It's
think this
true.
was this the point of the trip to find this.
Yes, from a plot standpoint,
figure
yeah,
it out.
it gets them to here
Yeah.
to find out it's Earth. Yeah.
I believe this is the same tunnel as seen in Flatline and the Zygon invasion.
It certainly looks.
Is it all
similar.
filmed in South Africa?
No, this is in some of the location stuff, like at the fancy pavilion, were shot on the Canary Islands on Tenerife.
Ooh, I would go there on vacation.
I know that big swooping sail building. That's an actual place.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's go there
I agree. I do want to go there.
in linen suits.
So you
Not
can sit
crash
and
on
drink
us.
and sit someplace else.
Yeah.
And then sit somewhere else for 3 hours.
Socially distanced, of course.
Well, we won't have to do that.
Someday we won't have to socially
Yeah,
distance.
they'll just pack us in there. And you know what? To be honest, like honestly, the travel agencies have us over a barrel because we will. Yes, we will
We'll be
happily
desperate.
We will happily crowd into a place uncomfortably close to everyone just
Here's
because.
the thing. For the
gotta
travel
miss this.
agencies to have us over a barrel, they have to survive. That
Yeah,
is
it's true.
unlikely. So
It's true.
who's laughing now? Nobody. That's who.
Nope,
Never mind.
I'm not laughing. I forget what her motivation was here because we're talking over the
It's her
episode, so-
mother.
Oh, all right, it's her mother.
That is a pretty terrible name.
Trixabel. That is
Trix or Belle would both be acceptable.
Yeah, but Trixabel.
She was in her fairy tale princess phase.
Yep. Like you named me Khaleesi. I mean, why would you do that? So yeah, there is only probably one suit of this, and they just shoot it multiple times. It's a good suit though. This is the season where Millennium Effects Neil Gorton sort of left abruptly after the first block, and I can't remember, are they out at this point, or because I think they only left after the first block, and I can't remember when this was shot, but it was someone else doing the creature effects. Millennium had done it since day one of the modern series.
I mean, they're good creature effects, so
yeah, they are really good.
If we can't tell, then somebody's doing it right.
I know. Yeah, I didn't notice it was a noticeable drop between Millennium and the new people. I can't remember who was the new crew doing. I suppose you have to read the credits, but they roll by so incredibly fast. That's one thing I noticed.
Dean Egg was the visual effects.
Yeah, visual effect. I'm talking about the creature.
I know,
effects.
I know, but I can't remember the firm.
Yeah, I quite liked. I like Dean Egg's approach to the new show. He just gives it a different, fresh look to it all. I think when you have a new Viz effects company doing it. No,
because they also want to bring their A game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and they haven't been doing it for years. They don't have, not that the mill is cutting corners, but they're going to go with the stuff they know because they've got time pressures or whatever else. Whereas the new guys are like, okay, it's our time to shine.
Yeah, let's figure it out. That is probably a road case for camera equipment. I bet you they just opened there. Stickers
Guaranteed.
and all.
Oh, we were watching The Stolen Earth the other day, and I was telling Jenny, yeah, see, that's a tape library. This is why I love this episode. This is a tape library where they keep the ultimate doomsday weapon, a magnet.
Mm-hmm. It's a bomb, a great big bomb.
It's true.
This vacation has turned out poorly for Graham. I feel bad for him out of anyone because he was really looking forward to this.
He didn't get to sit either place or have a drink.
Yeah, like he's the one that got him teleported here in the first place, thinking he's just going to have a nice relaxing time. He did get it. He got like one drink. He didn't even finish his drink before everything went to hell. Boo. Da, da, da.
Good old Marble Arch. Whatever this is.
You're in Chernobyl. It's Chernobyl. It's 1986.
A bunch of naked miners run by.
Yeah. All along.
Nice. That's a several layers deep reference.
Almost as deep as they are right now.
Stop thinking. Run. Think and run.
You're not the thinker. That's Peter Capaldi's character, apparently.
I like to think that's Brainiac. I don't know why.
Sure. That sounds better.
You have no idea what Brainiac is. And somehow I'm acting superior because of this.
I know.
You have no idea who this children's character is.
As I said, a weird performance.
Is she just like a big Scooby-Doo fan with bad pronunciation?
I don't know. I don't know, but we don't need to worry about her anymore.
No, wow, that's pretty callous, man.
Yeah, well,
no, we don't need to worry about that old lady who was eaten by creatures.
Yeah, she lasted a long time. I thought she was dead like halfway. Well, it was a little over halfway through, but
well, I think more reasonable people would have just thrown her out to the dregs to distract them.
Like more reasonable people. What are we live in Jim Jones's compound or something? What the hell?
I watched Midnight not too long ago, and they would have been like the other passengers on the caravan.
I also did. That is still a stellar episode.
It's really good.
It is, and when you think of Midnight, think of how quickly they get to the part where they want to throw people out, and the doctor has to talk them down from murder.
Yeah.
Since I'm getting
Basically,
really
we suck.
Yeah.
Since I'm getting really close to the end of RTD's era, and like 3 away, and one of those is really what I hate for a bunch of reasons. It's amazing to me how RTD can just write really tight, smart stuff, and then just go the complete opposite direction and just go, I'm throwing everything at the wall, and if it doesn't stick, I don't care. And then just go back to write something like Midnight, where you're like, how's this the same person? What's going on here?
You'll recall, Stephen, that some people complain about the presence of fires in a zero oxygen environment.
I don't recall that, but I mean, there isn't a zero. I mean, they do have.
No, it is because they have the breather things on their nose. That's how they have oxygen.
Well, maybe it's just not enough oxygen, but there is enough oxygen to start fire.
There's also fires that can burn without oxygen.
That too. There you go. What kind of fires are these, and how do we stop them?
If you listen to our initial review, I researched all that.
Did you really? Oh, wow.
Yes.
I remember that.
Wow.
I did.
Wow. Yeah, this is how you podcast for over 14 years, Annette. You do research eventually.
Well, we have Chris do research. I don't.
Yeah. You have 3 hosts. You have 3 people
You just
on the
need
podcast.
someone to do research.
Exactly. Yeah, you get one
It
of the
doesn't have
agents
to
of
be
Smooch
me.
to do something. I second you to go and do a thing. Go and research this thing, and I will sit here and talk until you come back.
I
with it.
second you. Apparently, you're a high-ranking member of UNIT.
Yes. Seconding
Well, it is an agency of Smooch.
you. It is, exactly.
Yes. By the way, one of the great things
have a
about
lot of
watching,
power.
especially the RTD era, but just generally Doctor Who, is you go from tragic endings to what should be a several months hence Christmas episode, where all of a sudden the Doctor pops out and goes, "I love me some Christmas." But for you, it's like the next day.
Oh,
Oh, Donna. Well, I love Christmas though.
I didn't see a pandemic in there.
You know, I just want you to know this all started in 2020.
Yeah. Can you remember? I mean, this
Cursed year, as we call it.
This series that we're watching here, this aired in the year 2020. This episode that we're
Did
watching.
it really?
Aired,
Yeah.
it aired in the month
Oh,
of
that's
March
right.
2020.
It seems like 200 years
It was
ago.
not March. It was like January.
This episode, I'm talking this at the series aired in March.
It finished in March. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
literally a
March
week
1st.
before lockdown or 2.
Oh, that's true.
Doctor
yes.
Who aired.
Yeah.
It just this feels like
Doesn't that seem so odd?
This
You know
feels
what
like
makes
we're
me
watching
happy?
something from 2019.
Are you saying that Orphan 55 is responsible, or it was just predicting our?
Yes,
fate
it was
now?
predicting.
Preachiness at the end that caused the pandemic.
The lack of COVID in the flashback series sequence just tells us that COVID is not the worst thing that's going to happen.
Oh, good,
Yay.
good. Well,
Wow.
climate change is bad.
So
record
diarrhea
this,
or a complete body meltdown, either or.
as we record this, there are like literally 3 hurricanes embarking on the U.S. with like a
Filled with coronavirus, I hear.
multi-state forest fires happening as well. So yeah, climate change is still around, boyos. Yep.
And we don't even know if there's sharks in those tornadoes.
That's a good point. There might be with the hurricanes the way it's coming.
Sharks that are on fire. Mm-hmm. I mean, why not go for the full Monty, really?
That was an okay movie.
It was.
Set in
Sharknado, not so much.
Sheffield.
So it's technically part of the Doctor Who canon.
It is, yeah. Robert
That's how these things
Carlyle
work.
is.
I don't make the rules.
Yeah.
And
I
a
certainly didn't make that
pandemic.
one up on the
You're
spot.
missing the pandemic, Doctor.
That's true.
Would that have brought this on? Maybe just accelerated it. Climate change started it, but pandemic, didn't start the fire, but it was always burning since the world was turning.
That's enough of that.
I feel
Is
like
it,
that.
though?
I feel like that song. Like you could just keep adding verses to it. It
Oh,
should
you
be
certainly
like a
could.
15-minute long song now.
People have done fan
I don't.
work.
I don't want fan. I don't. I want Billy Joel to come on like once every year to basically perform.
Old
the
Anakin
song
Skywalker
again.
himself, Billy
and
Joel.
then then have another. Wow. So you're talking Sebastian Shaw, Anakin Skywalker.
He looks a lot like him.
Yeah. Not like Anakin.
But also, Chris, I
Force
don't think
Ghost.
you can ever cap on anyone for "We Didn't Start the Fire" references. When you reference Wing Commander, a movie nobody liked or remembers, every second episode. So
I will push the Matthew Lillard agenda, I promise.
well, I'll do that. I've heard an interview with the guy.
I
He actually
haven't
seems like a
seen-
pretty cool guy. But
Yeah.
He is.
if you're gonna push that, push Hackers. If you're gonna go for '90s Lillard nonsense,
No,
go for
I'm
the
going to push
ultimate.
us. I'm going to push
I'm just
SLC
going to push
Punk.
the Starlust.
Yes. Thank you. Yes,
I
you
just
are
thank you,
amongst
Annette.
friends
That is-
here, Annette.
That is
No problem.
acceptable. You're about
Three
I'm
of
gonna
us.
I'm gonna do a podcast
Yeah,
with
that's it.
Stephen about it.
There is one in the works. Whenever that is, who knows? But
Hey, I would like to be a part of this since I bought the DVD as well.
I know we both bought
Awesome.
the DVD at the
Someone
same time.
got the DVD and had fondly remembered it and then was disappointed. So she gave it to me and now I own
You
it.
own it.
And so I can watch it whenever I want.
Yeah.
It is not good, but it is
Three-
fun.
It is not good in the right ways though.
There are 3 of 4 people on this podcast own a DVD copy of the entire series of the
That's
Star
it.
Lost.
That's the entire ownership of the Starlost.
You'll never get that in any other podcast. I'm pretty confident in saying that.
The thing is, it's a terrible show, but I say 3 young people and may I be of assistance all the time. Nobody but a friend of mine who also digs the Star Lost, who should probably bring on.
Oh my God.
Knows what I'm talking about.
Seek it out, everyone. The Star Lost.
It's like also underneath the terribleness. Also, this could be a really good show. There's like a really good foundation of a story.
Oh yeah, and there's a ton of technical knowledge that just doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a sad bit.
But it's just sort of awesome. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
You should seek it out.
Have alcohol, really.
Yeah,
have alcohol.
Anyway, Orphan 55 has been carrying on while we've been talking about the Star Lost.
About the Star Lost.
Yeah. There we go. This is the building. This is an actual building in Spain right here.
See, I would go there.
It's great.
I like Spain.
You remember the Smile?
Yes. Is that the same
That was
area?
No, it was in southern Spain, though. It was like in near Seville. But so like there's the Spanish architecture that's in that part of the world.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
And they have lots of sparkling wine called Cava.
Is that where that Capaldi episode was shot too?
Mm-hmm.
Literally what I just said.
Smiley emoticons.
Literally what I just said.
Yep.
Yes, that is the one.
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention.
Obviously
Nope.
not.
I've got over from 55 to pay attention to. Come on.
Nope.
That's all I need to.
What can you do with the letter P?
Besides, I'm still on riding that Star Lost high.
Yeah, I know.
Someone's going to start a podcast with me
That is
about
some good thinking. That's some good thinking. That stopped the Prime Wards in Inferno, which she clearly has seen, or the doctor told her about.
Oxygen? Wasn't
Yeah,
it
oxygen.
fire
extinguisher? Yeah, that's true. It's the lack of oxygen. It's carbon CO2.
Boy.
Dreg leader. How can you tell?
You know, if we're going to mutate, this is a pretty epic way to mutate.
I guess.
Tough.
I don't know.
You've got like really gross teeth.
Very gross teeth.
I mean, it still looks like the Hoyks in
It
a lot
does
of
look
ways.
a little bit like the Hoyks from Love and Monsters, yeah.
The Hoyks, which was never named in the episode.
No.
Possibly not even in the credits.
I think RTD just named it because he needed a name, so he called it the Hoyks, like later on, like retroactively.
And I think the first I ever heard that name was like for the action figure.
Maybe that was.
Do you have a Hoyks action figure, Warren?
I do not. What happens is I'll go to Gallifrey, and there'll be stuff that I don't have, and Steve will text me a picture and ask me why the hell I don't have this thing. And so I'll go buy it. So if you can do that, the Hoyks, which I haven't seen, I've seen the Hath, and I've never bought that, though I should.
Oh, the Hath, come on, that is prime. We missed the bit where Silas runs out for no reason and is upset by things.
It's okay. I think the police are coming to find him.
Yeah.
That is downtown Vancouver at its finest.
Yeah.
I'm close to the cop shop and the fire station, and one of the hospitals.
I remember thinking like this, how do you sort of convince this thing? I'm not too sure this argument worked for me, but kind of like she's lying in front of the bulldozer and saying, if you could lie down in front of this bulldozer while I nip off and have a drink with my friend Ford Prefect here. In, as you say, the mud.
Still the best Ford Prefect.
David Dixon?
Yes. By a country mile, he's the best.
Well, he's the first one I saw, so of course he's going to be the best.
Although Mustaf wasn't bad.
Yeah, and whoever did the radio, Jeffrey McGivern, I think.
Also not bad,
guy. Yeah. Somehow.
the guy who plays him in the TV show and the radio show is the definitive Zaphod Beeble Brox. There's just no getting around that.
Mark Wing Curry.
Davey.
Martin Freeman is a pretty good Arthur Dent, I have to say, if you're going to pick somebody.
Mark Curry is somebody else.
Are you familiar with Hitchhiker's Guide, Annette? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I am a big fan.
Oh,
I actually
good.
like Arthur Dent and it's Martin Freeman as Arthur Dent.
Yeah, I mean,
think
the original
it's
TV one,
good.
Simon, what's his name? Is
Simon Jones.
Simon Jones is the definitive. Like all the TV guys who are
wait,
most
no.
guys are definitive.
Simon Jones was the book, wasn't he?
I like
No,
it, the
Peter
book,
Jones is the
so
book.
much that when Nick had his 42nd birthday, we threw a Hitchhiker Guide party and everyone wore bathrobes and carried around towels and we made Pan-Galactic Gargle Blasters.
Nice.
Man.
And they were terrible, but also lethal.
You can get them at the Stormcrow Ale House here in town.
Oh, but we made like several different varieties based on the internet and we were not picking them for tastiness.
Did you have goldfish crackers and call them babelfish?
Ooh, that would have been a really good idea.
Do not
I should have
put
invited you guys.
goldfish crackers in your ears. They will crumble and you will have...
They'll get a little soggy.
And you won't understand anything, let alone all languages.
Yeah, that too.
Unlike animal crackers in your soup.
Yes.
There's apparently a new Hitchhiker's Guide TV show in the works.
Ooh, okay.
But I'm not so sure about that. Because I'm old and don't like new things.
Oh, see, I'm always willing to try again. And then sometimes I take against it illogically.
But the BBC one with the terrible effect is still my absolute favorite.
The movie one where they turn into yarn was my favorite part.
That was great.
There are
Everything turns
moments
into yarn.
Infinite
it's
Entire,
not,
probably
it's not a
Daily
great
Drive,
movie,
yeah.
but there are moments to it. Like Stephen Fry
fine.
as the book is
that was-
is inspired choice.
I'm just desperately trying to get back on track. The reappearance of that character here, Laura.
The mom?
Yeah, the mom was very sudden and like, okay. Aw.
I don't see what any of this has to do with Hitchhiker's Guide or indeed the Starlost.
Well, I don't know.
Well, they're sticking out their thumb to hitchhike their mouth.
That
right.
sounds
You rescued that,
slightly
Chris?
questionable.
Kinda,
I don't
I guess.
understand either. No, she won't. She's dead. She's dead. They're dead. They're all
It
dead.
is a good question. How will they be okay?
You raise a very good point. Sorry. So yeah, this bit is preachy, but as I argued
Oh, not just argued.
at the time,
Vehemently screamed, I think. is what you put it.
it's
Yeah.
like it's not like humanity has taken the hint, basically, you know?
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No. So yeah, sometimes you just got to lay it out and just yell at you, almost breaking the fourth wall and doing it. Because here we are with wildfires every summer. Although we haven't had them here, thankfully. There's a whole box of like face masks that we bought in the summer of 2018 when it got really bad there for a couple days, and then it didn't, and it never did really last year and did this year. And I thought, well, here we have these face masks that we don't use for anything until another forest fire happens. Ah ha 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 ha. And then 2020.
So
called
you're
it
the
off.
reason.
Yes, I am the reason.
I can't say that we do have forest fires, although none of the smoke has encroached upon Vancouver yet. But
No, it
the
seems
interior
to
is not
float
doing
the
so
other
well.
way. Yeah, it floats our way. So
Well, you deserve it. Not being us at all.
thanks.
You know, this seems a little less preachy in the context of we really suck at dealing with pandemics and stuff.
Exactly.
exactly.
That
6
too.
months into a worldwide health crisis
we're
later.
really bad at that.
Yeah.
Point taken, doctor. Point taken.
Yeah. I'm trying to read the closing credits for the creature effects, and it's going too fast. I can't
It
read
is
it.
really fast.
I mean, it's not TBS showing of Shawshank Redemption fast. But it's still
Nothing could be that. It was in there somewhere. It's gone.
My friend Andy Dufresne. Hey, up next, Monster Trucks.
Creature effects, Robert Alsop and Associates. There we are. That was one of them. And somebody else took over, I think, even. So I think they had a mishmash of...
This is a dilly of a whale.
Ooh, I like this episode too.
Yeah, this is a jolly episode here. Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror.
My favorite one was the Regency one, though.
A lot of people's favorites was the Regency one, but
Yeah,
not...
because it was Regency.
Well, exactly. Not everybody could take could get the Regency episode, sadly. But maybe, I'm just trying to work my way around saying thank you, Annette, for taking the bullet for Orphan 55.
As I said, I
Yeah.
don't hate it. I
No.
didn't like it. It's like it was fun, but it wasn't my favorite.
No,
But it was still fun, I thought.
yeah. And we talked about it and other things. And you mentioned the Regency episode literally at the last second of the actual episode that we just watched. So you got your mention in. Everything's fine, right? Everything's fine.
It is fine.
Yeah. Annette, thanks for taking your maiden voyage here on the good ship Radio Free Skaro for this commentary.
It was fun.
I'm
like
glad you
an excuse to watch Doctor Who. Why wouldn't that be a good thing?
Exactly. Where on the internet can we find your podcast initiatives and other such pursuits?
So you can find me at Scriptorium Girl on Twitter, or at Earp _Chirp on Twitter, or Agents of Smooch on Twitter. And you will also find both those podcasts, Earp Chirp and Agents of Smooch, on theincomparable.com. So, or your favorite podcatcher.
That's where you can find them. That's where you find this podcast too, and indeed all podcasts that you want to listen to. All right. Next week, as you saw, Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror will be the episode that we will commentate over. On topic or not, remains to be
Probably
seen.
not.
Probably not. So until next time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
More to Vancouver.
Chris in Edmonton.
And Annette in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.